Who doesn't love to travel? I love it, you love it, and unfortunately, influencers love it as well. And I say unfortunately because they seem to have the amazing ability of ruining it for everyone else.
And as soon as I get up to the gate, this lady, Isabella something, like her.
Which your underwear where you would put the coffee grounds.
Do you mind unscrewing the bottle, please? And she was like, is that hard?
I just watched a travel influencer get kicked off a flight for calling airport staff a bitch, and somehow she still thinks she was discriminated against.
Never flying Ryanair ever again.
I don't know if it's because I spend so much time on TikTok and social media in general, but I seem to be so desensitized to people crying on the internet. I just somehow never believe them. It always seems like bait to me. But let's listen to what the horrible thing Ryanair did to her.
I've calmed down a bit. I feel like I can gather my thoughts a little bit more properly, but that was the least professional experience I've ever experienced. You watch my videos or just know me, know that I show up like the happiest and kindest human being to everybody always. The fact that I was treated like this is really, really horrifying, honestly, and plain discrimination. Nobody here gave a fuck. It's really sad, but it's my disclaimer.
Before we continue with the story, I want you to remember that she said that she's the kindest and happiest human ever and that she was discriminated against. It will be important for later.
You guys, I literally get to the airport, I'm running late, checking the bag is closed, so I'm whatever. Just go through security, I run through it for takeoff. I run to the gate, and as soon as I get up to the gate, this lady, Isabella something, her, she sees me. I'm recording myself. I'm oh my god, guys, I made it to the flight, thank god. I thought I was gonna miss the flight. Immediately sees me, is having a shit ass day. She's you have to delete that video. I'm I was just videoing myself. What do you mean? And she's no, you have to delete it right now or else I'm calling the police. And I was okay. So I deleted it, and she's you have to delete it out of the recently deleted and you need to show me. I'm oh my god.
So first of all, she arrives late to the airport, and okay, it happens. The check-in, the bag check-in is already closed. She doesn't check her bag in, and if you've ever flown Ryanair, you know this is going to be a problem. So she shows up late, and she is filming a video, a vlog, whatever you want to call it, and the lady from the airport staff asks her to delete that video. And I know some people in the comments were saying that in European airports, it's usually not permitted to record anything. And here I'm going to take Jolene's side a little bit. Jolene is the name of this influencer, because from my experience, generally speaking, you can record in airports, you can record yourself, you can record public places, places like restaurants and such, but you cannot record around, for example, security check-in. So generally speaking, I don't think the problem was that she was recording at all. Obviously, different airports have different rules, so maybe just the place where she was has stricter rules than what I'm used to, traveling in Europe. But what I think is more likely is that while she was recording herself, maybe there was someone in the background, or she accidentally, caught the airport staff in the video, something like this. And I think that was the problem, not just the fact that she was recording herself in the airport. There must have been something more there, you know what I mean? Or maybe the lady was just mad that, she was late, and instead of going to check in for the flight, she's recording herself. And I found that in Portugal, so where she was, where this airport was, it's generally prohibited to film anyone without their consent. So if she was filming herself and there were some passengers in the back and she caught them even accidentally, technically that's illegal. So the airport staff had the right to ask her to delete that video. On top of that, Ryanair, as the company, forbids people from filming either their staff, whether that's on board or at the airport. So additionally, if she accidentally caught the staff in the video, they had the right to ask her to delete it. Either way, I really don't think that's such a big deal, because maybe it's frustrating if you're an influencer and you're filming your travels and you want to film yourself in the airport, I get it. But generally speaking, if you're in a country which laws you don't really know the rules, etc., and someone asks you to delete a video in which they could have been, or someone from the public could have been in the background, just delete it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And to her, this is just the beginning of her story. This isn't her main point. I'm just saying, Like, just delete the video. It's really not that big of a deal.
Then the guy proceeds to tell me that I have to pay another $75, even though I already paid to check this in. Pay another $75 for them to check it in at the gate. I'm like, whatever.
Then she gets to the part of checking in the bag and she says she already paid $75. I think it was euros, but whatever. But she says it was $75 to check in the bag. But she also said that she didn't check in the bag. So obviously you have to pay extra to take it on board. If it's like oversized luggage, whatever, you either, I don't know if you take it on board or maybe they just take it from there and it's still checked in. I don't really know how that works because that's never happened to me. I'm like super cautious whenever I travel. I'm super cautious with the size of my luggage because I travel with Ryanair so much and I know that they are very, very strict with their luggage policy. And if they have any suspicion that your bag is too big, they will make you put it in this like measuring thingy, and if it's even slightly too big, they will make you pay for it. There was literally a whole trend of people putting on multiple layers of clothing just to not pay extra for luggage. So like, you know, there is a reason why this is the cheapest airline in Europe. And I know that she might not have known that because she's like an American tourist, so she's probably not used to traveling by Ryanair, but I feel like if you're planning a backpacking trip across Europe, which that's what she's doing, she's having this whole trip across Europe, you should check stuff like this. You should check like local like rules, laws, customs, all this stuff, because now to me this is just culture shock a little bit. Maybe not culture shock, maybe this isn't a good word because this isn't really about culture, but how differently businesses operate here. And in Europe, it's pretty well known that Ryanair is very strict on their luggage policy, and I'm surprised she didn't know that. She's clearly used to different standards in the US.
And she's giving me the most attitude, like, and I didn't do anything. I walked up to the gate, I'm smiling, I'm like, thank God I didn't miss my flight. Like, that's it. She's immediately being a bitch to me. I'm sorry you're miserable. I would be too if I were you and had that sort of attitude on life.
So can you tell how she always shows up as the kindest and happiest person?
Then they make me pay the $75. Whatever, I pay it. I'm literally about to go through. I'm like, you know, you're a bitch and it costs $0 to be nice to someone. And she goes, that's it. You're not getting on the flight.
She was literally done with this whole interaction and she could have just gone to the plane and like forget about the whole thing, and she had to call her a bitch. Like, is this the behavior of someone who is the kindest and happiest person on earth? I don't know.
They're not letting me get on my flight now. And after they made me pay a $75 extra bag charge, my bag isn't even on the plane. And I already paid for a bag when I was doing my check-in.
When you were doing your check-in, you paid for a different check-in. Like, this is all, if you look up any like terms and conditions, if you check any like bag policy of Ryanair, it's all there. It's all there. And it's so crazy that I'm like siding with Ryanair, but I'll get to that in a minute. But honestly, just watching her coming to Europe without any preparation and then making it everyone's problem that she didn't know how things operate.
So I wouldn't have to pay the $75 at the gate. I understand it's my fault. I was late. I was gonna pay the $75. It's fine.
Like, I look at this and I don't believe those tears are real. And that's what I said when I said that I think I'm desensitized to people crying on the internet, because I see this and I'm like, this is fake. This is not real tears. This is not real sadness. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but...
Ryanair, literally never flying with them ever again. Rudest people ever.
And they won't give me a refund. They won't do anything. They won't refund me for the $75. They just made me pay on top 2 seconds before they refused me getting on the plane. It's crazy. Genuinely crazy. That's why they are able to make money.
Okay, obviously this is weird that she paid the $75 and they wouldn't let her on the plane, but I really don't know. Let me tell you something about Ryanair. I almost exclusively fly Ryanair because this is literally like the cheapest plane you can get in Europe. So anywhere I go, I just go by Ryanair because I don't care. I just want to pay as little as possible to get where I want to be. I would rather spend more money like on my vacation than on the flight, which is going to be like 2 or 3 hours or whatever, right? I don't care about the flight. But because I've flown it so much, I've seen so many things and so many situations. I saw people being mean to staff. I saw people get angry that their luggage was too big and they had to pay extra. I want to say I saw it all. Maybe I didn't see it all, but it kind of feels like it after flying with them so many times. What I've never seen though is someone get removed from a flight for being just a little angry or a little mean to the staff. So somehow her story just doesn't sit right with me. I think she might be downplaying a little bit what she did. But then again, I never saw anyone call airport staff a bitch just straight to their face because they had to pay extra for luggage that was too big, she was just doing her job. It's not her fault that in this case you have to pay extra for the bag. It's really not her fault. She's just following, the rules of her job. And then again, if you go on the Ryanair's website, which is, I feel like if this is your first time flying in Europe, if this is your first time flying Ryanair, maybe go check out their terms and conditions, especially if you're from the United States and you don't really know much about traveling in Europe. I feel like this is a good idea to check out the general terms and conditions, right? If you go on their website, literally right on the top, it says that they have the right to refuse to sit you on a flight if you even anger a crew member. So if it's that simple, what would possess you to insult them straight to their face? I don't know. I don't get her behavior. And sure, maybe the crew had a little bit of an attitude. Maybe that lady had a bit of an attitude. I get it. It happens. But I don't think she would have just outright refused to board her if she was just a little mean. I think if you call someone a bitch, I mean, what else do you expect? And it's not really to defend Ryanair staff because they... I've had run-ins with them. They can give you attitude sometimes. Very recently, I had this situation where I paid extra to sit in the back of the plane. I always sit in the back of the plane close to the emergency exit because when I was a kid, I would watch those plane crash videos, and I learned that you're most likely to survive if you sit somewhere in the back but close to the emergency exit. So I always pick those seats specifically. And even though I paid extra for them, they switched our places to the very front row, the first row of the flight. And I went up to the airport staff, I think it was, and I was like, why would you change my seat? Can you tell me why I paid extra and now I have to sit somewhere else? I paid specifically for those seats. And they just wouldn't answer me. They just didn't say anything. They were just you just have to sit in the front. I'm like, okay, but can you tell me why? Can I get my money back? And she was like, you just have to sit in the front. And whatever, take it up with Ryanair. I don't know if you can get your money back, whatever. So, I'm not really here to defend Ryanair staff because they can have attitude, but then again, anyone who works with the public in any service position sometimes gets attitude because they are tired of people. I get it. I didn't think that person I talked to had a personal vendetta against me. They were just doing their job. That's it. And this girl put herself in the victim situation. When I first saw this video, I was so ready to side with her because Ryanair is cheap for a reason. And when you fly with them, you can feel that, it's not really they don't really care about the passengers. So I was so ready to side with her. But then I listened to her story and then I got to the part in which she calls airport staff, a bitch. And I was like, you know what, if you have that attitude to someone who's just working, then I don't know, maybe you are the problem here. And obviously, because that video kind of went viral, a lot of people saw it, started commenting on it. She made a follow-up video, so let's listen to it.
I remember Kenya talking about this because she always has people literally DMing her hate comments when they're in psychosis. It's really stuck with me, and now if that video, it couldn't be more true, but hot girls don't hate. Hot girls do not hate. All of these little internet trolls, I look on their page and boom, you need to immediately humble yourself.
So as we can see, Girly loves to judge people on the way they look because what was that?
And you think about it and it's I would, regardless of how controversial a video or what somebody said, I would, first of all, never go out of my way to comment on a video more hate. And second of all, I would never even further go out of my way to DM somebody. That is ugly people behavior. Sorry. And it shows through in every single angle. I hope that you get well soon.
Mind you, if you go through the comments under that video, people weren't commenting on her looks at all. Let's read some top comments. I feel like I'm missing context. What was her reason for asking you to delete the video? Also, why did you have to pay the extra back charge? I don't think you should have said what you said, but it does seem she was also being rude to you. Two wrongs don't make a right, I guess. How were you discriminated against? I can't believe you've made the whole of Europe side with Ryanair. I can't find any positive comments, but if there are any, don't listen to them, girl. I'm not sure the most positive and happy person would say that to a stranger. So literally nobody is talking about her looks, and somehow she's seeing those comments, and obviously I don't know what people are DMing her, because how would I know? But I don't see any comments about her looks, but somehow she sees this criticism and she decides it's a good idea to go to someone's page, check them out, and then say that ugly people shouldn't be criticizing others or something along those lines, right?
All of these little internet trolls, I look on their page and boom, you need to immediately humble yourself.
Because people are really just pointing out her behavior and what she did wrong, etc. I don't think those comments are that hateful, honestly. I don't know, maybe I've been on TikTok too long and again I'm desensitized to negative comments, but really I don't think those comments are this bad. But somehow she decided to go to someone's profile and then make a video saying that people should humble themselves because ugly people shouldn't be criticizing others or something like this.
That is ugly people behavior.
Maybe life isn't all about looks, and even people who you think aren't pretty get to voice their opinions. I mean, she literally only has 15k followers on TikTok, and she's already acting like an out-of-touch influencer. And to me, she is giving I'm better than others energy, and I cannot take people like this. No matter how pretty you are, no matter how internet famous you are, you don't get to feel better than other people. But now let's take a look at some awesome travel hacks.
I'm about to show you guys one of the coolest tricks ever.
I really hope you don't like making coffee in hotel coffee makers, because if you do, you're about to rethink that choice. Seriously, rethink that choice.
Say you're traveling and you didn't pack enough underwear and you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? Every room has a coffee pot thing in it. Every room, even the other coffee makers where it brews through. All you have to do, put your underwear where you would put the coffee grounds. You close it, you press brew, and it puts scorching hot water through it. You guys, then the hairdryer in the bathroom, you blow dry those bad boys, and you got yourself a cleaner pair of underwear to wear.
Or maybe you could do literally anything else. You could wash it in the shower or the bathtub, it would make more sense, or in the sink even. You could buy a new pair of underwear. There are so many things you could do instead of putting it in a coffee maker. But then she unfortunately tells us how she found out about this awesome trick.
I did not realize how many people already knew this hack. I learned it years ago from a friend that was a flight attendant, and it's brilliant.
I would use literally any other word than brilliant to describe it. The one that I think fits the best is disgusting. This is disgusting. Even if you found out that so many people already know about this and do this, why would you suggest trying it to anyone? And I would understand if she was sharing it as kind of a warning to not use coffee makers, and you will see in a minute that this is kind of her defense, that she was just sharing it as a cautionary tale or whatever. But she totally makes it seem like this is such a great hack and such a great idea, because I know for a fact that there will be people who will try this awesome travel hack after seeing this video, because people sometimes hear stuff on the internet and they just try it without thinking. I'm not really the one to speak, because once someone on the internet told me that if I put a knife in the microwave and warmed it up, it would be easier, to spread butter with it because it would be warm. Yeah, this wasn't the best idea, so I'm not immune to this myself. That's why I'm very wary around people who suggest things like that. Even if they later say it was just a joke, I'm I know people will try this. I just know it for a fact. Funnily enough, the next video she posted after that was this.
Terrible fruit fly problem.
And someone commented, terrible overall hygiene problems. And just to be clear, I don't think having fruit flies suggests like a hygiene problem. It was just really funny to me that this is the next thing she posted right after that video of like washing underwear in a coffee maker. She posts quite a lot, to be honest. She has like 700,000 followers, and so obviously her audience is quite big, and people kept bringing it up in her comments that she washes her underwear in a coffee maker. And then she posted some screenshots of a conversation with a friend, and a friend said, "You okay, friend?" She responded, "Yeah, I'm trying to get my underwear out of the Keurig right now. It almost melted them." And the friend responded, "People actually think you wash your underwear in a coffee maker," and posted it on the internet. "Not a person I know doesn't pack for vacation like they're going to shit their pants 14 times. Honestly, like fair, same." And then she responded, "They don't realize I'm playing chess while they're playing checkers." And I think she's one of those people who thinks that all publicity is good publicity, as long as people talk about her and comment under her videos is like good for her because this is engagement, etc. But she posts quite a lot of like recipes and cooking videos, and I don't know about you, but I would never take cooking advice from someone who suggests putting your underwear in a coffee maker. Because who knows, maybe they will tell me again to put my knife in the microwave, and who knows if I've learned my lesson. If you don't know what happens when you do that, it basically like starts exploding and stuff, so it's really unsafe. But like I'm fine, the microwave is fine, it all turned out okay, so yeah, but don't do this at home. And then she posted this video.
Oh my gosh, you guys, good morning. I was just telling Colton about the video about the underwear in the Keurig or whatever, and he goes, "What?" He said, "What's a Keurig?" I said, "It's like the coffee pot when you wash when I washed our underwear in the coffee pot." He goes, "Mine?" I said, "Yeah, when I used to clean our underwear." He goes, "You are so disgusting." I've never actually done that, but it's really funny, you guys. The amount of you guys that...
And she's like laughing it off and saying she's never done this, it was just a joke, whatever. But then she says this.
It was more of something that I posted to like be why not to use the coffee pot. So it was more like, hey, this is why I wouldn't use the coffee pot. I learned that from a friend that was a flight attendant, and I was like, ew. But I've never been into those Keurigs anyway. Not even because the underwear, just because they're dirty, and I don't think the hotel cleans them. But the underwear part, well, I don't even want to tell you guys that it wasn't real, because you guys are having way too much fun thinking it's real. And it's whatever. It's better just think what you guys want to think.
Obviously, in the video, she didn't try to word it as a warning. Even at the beginning, she said this.
I'm about to show you guys one of the coolest tricks ever.
So in my opinion, it totally does sound like she's suggesting it. And I don't even care if she does it or not. It was just disgusting to frame it like this. Then she posted a video about how like some news outlets are contacting her because her video went viral or whatever.
This is the first time that any of my videos have went this viral. So I am asking for help on how do you guys choose which news outlet you guys sign with.
So I really think she's the type of person who thinks that all publicity is good publicity, because she has some type of business. Let me check what it is. She has like a weekly meal prep with me. She has like some 8-week challenge, some nutrition consulting app, stuff like this. So she, her account is there to probably promote her businesses. So I don't know, it just really seems like she's happy about this exposure. Anyway, people also started pointing out that in 2023, she posted this video.
Okay, you guys, story time. Does anybody else not use the coffee maker in their hotel room? Here's the deal. I was told years ago that that's how women clean their underwear. Well, not just women, probably men too. Clean dirty underwear or like pantyhose or anything like that. They put them in there and it disinfects it with the hot water. So I've never made and brewed coffee in my hotel room. But I found out everyone else on the on the trip, they're all making their little lattes and all their drinks in their hotel rooms. Does anybody else not use their coffee maker in their hotel room because of the gross stuff that you don't know what happens in there? Or is that just like absolutely crazy and it's really not true?
See, so this video was great, very helpful. This was definitely a warning. Maybe don't suggest people do it then if you find it so disgusting. So After watching all of this, I think it's safe to say that this new video, not the one from 2023, but the one in which she shows it as a hack, is just rage bait to get people to engage with her posts, to get her like more followers, I guess. And she's happy with how it turned out, so I guess great for her. But to me, her face will forever be associated with coffee and poop. By the way, if you've made it this far into the video, why don't you consider subscribing? I'm really trying to hit 1000 subscribers, and that would help me out a lot. The next influencer I'm going to show you made a whole video complaining about the fact that the flight attendant wouldn't open a water bottle for her. Yes, really.
Not to be a Karen, but I had some attitude from a BA air hostess last night.
I'm afraid you might be the Karen here.
And I kind of want to get it off my chest. Like, I don't know, I just found it really rude. If you've flown BA before, you know that they hand out these miniature water bottles with like 3 drops of water in them, you know, as like a complimentary bottle of water and sometimes like a snack, okay? And I know these bottles are particularly hard to open. I wonder if anyone else finds them hard to open. I've flown BA a few times. I know these bottles can be a problem, and I actually am really shit at opening bottles. Like, whenever I'm with friends and I have a bottle, I always ask someone to open the bottle for me. I'm like, can you please help me? I just can't open these bottles. Like, they just hurt my hands, okay?
How can you be bad at opening bottles? Like, this is so ridiculous. I don't believe someone she's 29 years old, by the way, and she's bad at opening bottles. I also love how she has this bottle as like her little prop for the video.
I was on a flight sometime last year and I could see the trolley coming down the aisle with the air hostess handing out the bottles of waters and the snacks. And when she handed me the bottle, I said to her, do you mind unscrewing the bottle, please? Like, they're really difficult to open. She's like, oh, I got you, don't worry. She was kind and helpful. She didn't make me feel like embarrassed about it. She's like, oh yeah, people ask me all the time, these are really difficult, I know. She unscrewed it. She was like, I got good at it now, and she handed it back to me. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't feel like a little child that can't open their bottle of water.
I don't know, maybe you should have felt like this. This is the most basic life skill I can think. It's not even a life skill. It's hard to call it that. It's just like the most basic ability.
So she was just nice about it, okay? On the way to Switzerland sometime last week, I was on a BA flight. Again, they were handing out bottles of water, but I was on the window seat. The guy next to me was in the middle seat, conked out, fast asleep. So I got handed this bottle of water, but I didn't want to cause any commotion and wake him up, and I just didn't want to cause a thing, and I just took the bottle, firmed it, accepted the fact that I wasn't going to drink any water on that flight, and just I got on with it. I ended up giving myself a headache because the rush leaving the airport, getting home, all of that, I didn't drink enough water, and I was like, I should have just asked him to open the bottle. Like, I should have just done it, because now I'm giving myself a headache.
I am kind of praying this is rage bait, because what do you mean you gave yourself a headache because you didn't drink enough water because you couldn't open the bottle? I mean, if you really tried, I believe you could do it. How did someone like this make it to 29? I don't know how she made it this far in life. Also, if this is something you genuinely struggle with, you could either take like a water bottle from your house, you could buy something at the airport. Like, there are so many options. You don't have to rely on the water bottles they give you in the airplane. Like, complete lack of basic life skills here.
Anyway, on the way home, because I had learnt my lesson, I said, right, I'm going to ask the air hostess to open my bottle of water.
You learning your lesson was asking people to open a water bottle of water, whatever, for you, instead of just buying something at the airport that you can open yourself, or getting just like a normal water bottle that you can fill in. Like,
I know this sounds like absolutely nothing, but I just overthink these things.
It doesn't sound like absolutely nothing. It just sounds ridiculous.
I'm just one of those people, okay? So I asked the air hostess. This time no one was asleep in my row. So I asked her, like, would you mind unscrewing the bottle, please? And she looked at me like, sorry, what?
Based reaction, I would have said the same thing.
And I was like, oh, I thought, oh, maybe she shouldn't hear. But she kind of gave me a bit of an attitude. So I was like, oh, do you mind unscrewing the bottle, please? And she was like, is that hard? Like, kind of like spoke to me as if I was like a child. I don't know, like, it was just so condescending. I just felt like shit.
What sounds more condescending to me is being at the grown age of 29 and asking someone to open a water bottle for you. She is not your butler, she's an air hostess.
And I was so like too stunned to speak. The woman in the aisle seat was kind enough to like butt in and be like, yeah, they're actually really difficult. I struggle with those all the time. And she's like, it's not that hard, and handed it back to me. And I was like, okay. I just felt like there was no need for that attitude.
And there was no need for you to post this whole thing on the internet as well.
First of all, it's not that hard for you to do it if I'm asking you. If I'm asking you, it's because I need you to help me. What if I broke my wrist, like, and I was, I don't know, doing rehab on my wrist and I couldn't use my wrist, okay?
Then I think that would be a completely different situation. If you asked her, hey, I'm having troubles with my wrist, could you please open the bottle for me? I bet her reaction would have been different. But this is not what happened, is it?
I know that's not the case, but like, she was just very judgmental and there was like no need for the attitude. Like, I should have asked the passenger, who probably would have been way nicer.
Like, seriously, the way some influencers treat service workers and the type of treatment they demand from them is just so hard to look at. I guess it's not the case with just influencers, like people who aren't influencers also do it. She is not your personal assistant. She is not your butler. She has the whole flight to kind of take care of and help, and you're asking her to open a water bottle for you. Like, this is so ridiculous to me. I've never heard of someone who cannot open water bottles, like has a problem with it as a skill. I don't know. And people just seem to forget that service workers aren't there to do every little thing for them. Honestly, I would have reacted the same way. If I was like her air hostess and she asked me to open this for her, I would have said the same and done the same. This girl actually ended up turning off the comments on her video because I guess people weren't the nicest to her and maybe she felt like a child again. And like, yeah, this is so ridiculous. I don't know what else to say here. I feel like influencers used to make people excited to travel. They would show their like cool experiences and recommend places, etc. And now they just complain, treat people like they're beneath them, and then cry on the internet when things don't go their way. And the worst part is, the more ridiculous it is, the more attention they are getting. So at this point, I don't even know how much of this is bait and how much of it is their entitlement. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you think this is entitlement or bait or something completely different, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy influencer drama, you're going to love this video. So see you in the next one. Bye.